If there's one thing that I can guarantee in life, it's that things will change. So on this video, we're going to talk about things that have changed or will be changing in the state of Utah. We're going to talk about topics like the real estate market, some potential hazards with your pets, interest rates, healthcare, and where you might be grabbing a bite to eat. So let's get after it right now. Welcome to the Living in Utah channel. I'm Mike Gallagher. I'm a local real estate agent right here in the area. If this is your first time to my channel, you may want to hit that subscribe button down below and tap that bell notification, and you'll be notified each and every time I release a new video, and that's every week. And honestly, we receive dozens of calls from all over the world, and we absolutely love it. So if you're thinking about making a move to Utah and you want to know what it's like to eat, sleep, drink, and play in Utah, well, pick up that phone, give me a call, shoot me a text, send me an email. Days, nights, weekends, we got your back when moving to the U-State. So the first topic for discussion is the real estate market. It's a hot market in Utah. There are times throughout the year it is super hot, but we have to look for solutions. Change will have to happen to keep up with the demand. There are people moving into the state at record numbers. There are people who live in the state that would also like to get into a home. In order to keep up with demand, though, we have to build more homes. More homes means more existing inventory hitting the market. And one area for change that I see that this could happen would be to get land development and the permit process for a new build done a little bit quicker. And in order to do that, we may consider farming out some of that work to local or national engineers that have experience with land development, and also engineers who have experience with the whole building of a home, to get these plans passed quicker and builders can start on new developments. After all, if you bring more new homes online, that will create more existing homes to hit the market. Some people just will not sell their home if they do not have a guaranteed home to move into. They're not big fans of selling a home, then renting a home, and then moving again into their new purchase. So if we can create more new home builds, it'll create a domino effect and we'll get more existing homes hitting the market. Let's talk about renting an apartment or a home. There has been change, especially if you live along the Wasatch Front. That would be Provo up to Ogden, Utah area, or the St. George, Utah area. There has been some rent increases, especially over the last 3 to 4 years. Now, the further that you get away from some of these cities, you will see some savings. One area that comes to mind is the Vernal, Utah area. They've been hard hit by the oil and gas industry declining, and there are still some savings to be had. But on the other hand, if you head east from Salt Lake City up towards the Park City, Deer Valley area, there have been some dramatic increases to the upward side. But change is happening. Everywhere that I travel, there are apartment buildings being built. You name the city, they've had new construction or there is new apartments being built right now as we speak, probably at a record pace. The joke in Utah is every time you see some new construction going on, it's probably an apartment building. I refer to it as Wall Street money. Some of the big fund groups used to invest in, say, stocks and bonds and startup companies, and they're looking for a return on their money, and they are getting into the apartment game, primarily in states that are having large increases like Utah, Idaho, Colorado, Florida, Texas. We're seeing more and more apartments being built and fewer single-family residence homes up for rent. So one of the reasons that we have less single-family homes for rent is due to the COVID situation. It really did a number on landlords. There was the COVID bailout for landlords. You're probably asking, Mike, remind me what the COVID bailout for landlords was? Well, let me tell you. Landlords basically got the big middle finger. And no, I'm not going to do a description on that. I would like to describe it with 2 other words, but family-friendly channel, so we will leave it with the big middle finger. Basically, the CDC came along and said if you've been affected by COVID or if you have COVID, you could not pay your rent. You could live in the property for free, absolutely free. But the landlord still had to pay property taxes. They still had to repair the home, provide maintenance, insurance, water bills, sewer bills. They were still on the hook for. That led to many landlords, especially your mom and pop landlords who own 1 or 2 or 3 rental properties. Maybe they used it to supplement their retirement income. They decided to sell and invest the money elsewhere. So we are seeing fewer single family homes for rent. Interest rates are changing. Over the last month or two, the rates have bumped up slightly, and they may increase more over the next year or two. Actually, the Federal Reserve has recently come out and said they plan on increasing the rates in 2022. You're probably not aware that during COVID, the government was buying up mortgage-backed securities. I once heard that they were buying $30 to $40 billion a month. That's like $1 billion a day in loans that they were buying back. They were trying to stabilize the real estate market during the virus. When the virus first hit, I thought that the real estate market was going to crash. Then I saw the government come in and buy up some of these securities, and I thought, oh, wait and see. Let's see what happens. Well, it worked. It worked out great. The housing market has exploded all around the country. Just about every city or state that I'm aware of has seen price increases, some more than others. If you do know an area of the country or a city that has not seen a price increase, I would love to know in the comments down below. So now the government is pulling back on these purchases. They were buying back a bundle of mortgage securities, which allowed the banks to do more loans. It increased competition. As they got some of those loans off their books, they could go out and get some new loans. Competition between banks and mortgage companies existed. Also, as the rates fell, some people decided to refinance their home. Some people were at 4, 5, 6, 7% interest rates, wanted to refinance down towards that 3% and under rate. This also created some low inventory issues. Some of those individuals maybe would have sold their home and purchased another home, but instead they decided, hey, let's just refinance our home. Maybe we could take the extra money, put it into a retirement account, put it on our mortgage, maybe go buy a new boat. So we had some lower inventory with those issues. But the 3.5% rate or the 4% mortgage is still historically very, very low. I think that the 3% and under loan may be gone and it may not come back in the near future. Maybe you're looking to build a new home. Trying to predict what the interest rate will be in the future is very difficult, especially when building completion times are increasing. I've seen some custom homes, these really big custom homes, they might take 18 to 24 months to complete. What will the interest rates be in that time period? It's anyone's guess. Even if you are building the standard 3,000, 4,000 square foot home, there's some delays. There are supply chain issues. They're running out of materials every single week. One week it's paint, then it's wood, then it's concrete. And then we've got labor issues in the state of Utah. Every construction site that I see, they're always hiring for people. They're trying to steal other workers from other job sites just to complete some home builds. So if you're looking at locking in an interest rate on a new build, talk to your mortgage professional and see what they can do for you to help you lock in that interest rate. So we're seeing some change in healthcare here in Utah. It's called telehealth. If you've got medical health issues that you want to deal with without leaving your home, well, you can call, email, pick up a Zoom call and get answers to some of the common issues that you might come across, like a sore throat, allergies, eye infections, a cough, joint pain, and many other issues. You get to do it from the luxury of your own home. And a lot of this has come about due to the short staff that we have at just about all the hospitals in Utah. They are running at capacity trying to treat people with the COVID, and nurses are leaving at a high rate. They cannot hire nurses fast enough. The schools cannot graduate nurses fast enough. So telehealth has become very popular. I've got some friends using telehealth. I haven't used it personally. It's a new way that they're going to do healthcare. But also remember too, you can also order COVID tests online shipped right to your home. The government is actually giving away some for free. I believe if you go to the website special.usps.com/test kits, something similar, you can order up to 4 test kits for free. You can sit at the privacy of your own home, take the COVID test, see if you're positive or negative. We seem to be having some change in the weather, especially in northern Utah. I've noticed that the winters seem to be more mild. We seem to receive less snow, especially over the last 20 to 25 years. Maybe it's climate change, maybe it's not. Years ago, I can remember some people would have homes with flat roofs or a low pitch roof, and they were afraid that the weight of the snow would cave in the roof. So they'd go up on the roof with their shovels and their snow blowers and remove all the snow. Even at some businesses like car dealerships, they would stack the snow up, run out of room to park some of the cars. So they would hire construction companies with their dump trucks and backhoes, load up the truck, take it away to some other site so they could park more cars on the lot. The equipment on the base, they bought this special equipment that you could dump snow into it. I think it had like a jet engine and it would melt the snow. They would park it over a drain and turn it to water. I bet nowadays some of that equipment just sits. Maybe it's climate change, maybe it's not. Not too sure. But I've also noticed in some other states, similar things have happened. Like in Florida, they seem to be having more tornadoes. So if you're moving to the state of Utah, there might be a change for your pets, dogs and cats. In Utah, we have an issue with foxtails. So do some other states. Not all states have the issue, but Utah is one that definitely has it. The spikes from the foxtail, they can enter just about any part of your dog or cat and cause some extreme discomfort. Ooh. Sometimes it'll hook under the skin and it can move forward and just be a real irritant. Some of the common areas that the foxtails will enter will be like the toes, the ears, the eyelids. So look in some of those areas. The worst time of year is probably like June through October. So if your animal does pick up a foxtail, has some discomfort, don't worry. It's a common issue. The local vets are used to the situation and are well experienced in removing the foxtails. I have some tips for you. After a walk or a hike, check the toes. Be a great time to see if there's any foxtails. Also, when summertime comes, haircuts. Haircut will also keep your dog cooler, and you'll be able to spot some of them foxtails maybe a little bit easier. They do sell dog boots that will help protect your furry friend. And I've got some signs that your dog may have foxtails. If they are shaking their head, maybe it's in the ear. If they are squinting their eyes, they might have an irritation in the eye. If they are limping, look at the toes and the legs. If they seem to be sneezing a lot, look inside the nose. So there's a change in the way that we get food, and that would be in the form of food trucks. Everywhere you go in Utah, you'll see food trucks in local parking lots, in parks. It is a mobile business, and it has a low-cost barrier of entry, which I really like. Gives opportunities for many people who want to have their own food establishment business without the high cost of the brick-and-mortar restaurant that could cost millions of dollars to build out. You got to go to a bank, get a loan. Sometimes you got to put all your assets on the line to get that loan. There's also lower regulations. And I don't mean regulations in the sense of food safety. They still have to meet all the codes that the local health department sets for a food establishment. But they get the ability to travel anywhere they want to go. And they don't have to go in front of the city council and say, I want to put a brick and mortar store right here. And then the neighbors get to come by and say, no, 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 we don't like that idea. We don't want it in our backyard. The old, we don't want it in our backyard seems to be the argument that you see in a lot of cities. So I absolutely love the food trucks. If you've got a great recipe and a truck, you can have a very profitable business. And I'm a big fan of small business. I think it's the lifeblood of the United States economy. Change is happening all across the United States, especially in the state of Utah. If you have any kind of questions, by all means, reach out to me. Glad to answer anything that I can. And I hope to see you on one of my live question and answer sessions that I hold right here on YouTube. Remember, we got your back when moving to the U State. Take care. Stay safe.